Little echo from
Alrighty,
the.
well, Brent, we are live. Let me jump back over to here. So yeah, welcome to the 10 at 10 here tonight, Tuesday night, and the New Skin Social Media Training Group. Yeah, we have Brent Bryson and myself, Blake Bryson, here to answer some of your questions and go over some different things that people in the group have been asking. We've been at this now for about 5 months, using social media as kind of the method that we're using to help other people earn income on social media. So I wanted to just take some time to get this all clarified for some people and answer some questions that maybe don't come up as frequently. I'm going to make sure I have the live pulled up here on my phone as well so I can see any of the questions as they come in. Let's see. While I'm doing that, Dad, do you want to tell people a little bit about where you went while you were gone for TEU, or is that not appropriate to share here?
Well, so nearly a year ago, I got invited to a place called Sand Hills. Um, I'm going to go with maybe the eighth wonder of the world, really, as far as where this golf course was. And that sounds weird, but in the middle of Nebraska, there's 18,000 square miles of sand, and nobody really knows how it got there. It almost looks like it was an ocean or something like that. It's definitely a geological wonder. I didn't know it was there, and so some guys 20 years ago built a golf course, and over the course of time, it's become revered. It's like the 17th best golf course in the world. It's always in the top 20. Every person who lists, listen, it's just pure golf. There's no tennis courts or I mean, you drive through 2.5 hours of three rooftops. You don't. There's nothing. It's totally desolate to get there. The only real way in there is a private jet. I got invited by some guys that are members there to play in a a east-west amateur match, and I'd already committed to it. And normally I wouldn't miss a TEU, but it was kind of a special invite. Probably never go back there again in my life. It was like playing golf on the moon, sort of. It was pretty amazing. Anyway, one of those kind of bucket list places that you get to go, with rich guys.
That's kind of why I wanted you to share. I mean, life of a team elite, right? So, well, that's awesome. And it was I think that you phrased it as we need someone to be an example of the lifestyle, and you volunteered. So that was very gracious of you to do that for us.
Somebody had to take that bullet.
Well, good stuff. All right, so tonight, Brent, I wanted to really just kind of open things up to the group, like I mentioned at the beginning of the call, and kind of do an Ask Us Anything. And I got a list of questions from people, and some of these may be more directed to both of us, some may be more directed to you, and some more directed maybe to me. We'll kind of just decide and cut these up as we go through. The first question that we got was, how do you stay focused on social media? So the further explanation was that while they're on social media, they get distracted. They feel like they try to add friends and do a couple of minor tasks, and then they find themselves a couple hours in on social media and they haven't really gotten anything done. I think that might be a better question.
Watching
Sorry,
cat,
what?
watching cat videos, right?
Exactly. Cat videos, emojis, memes, all the stuff that, civilians use social media for. Um,
I think this is a great question. I saw this in a list that you sent me, and it's not easy being human. It's easy to be distracted. I mean, there's a lot of times when I'll sit down. This is my favorite chair. I mean, you know me. You know how I work. When I sit in this chair, it really is work for me. And I think that's part of it. I think training your brain. We've got this history where you show up the first day of kindergarten and they put you in your desk, and when you sit down at that desk, you you kind of know what you're supposed to be doing. And the world's become a little different. There's not as much structure, and I think that it's important to have a little bit of structure. Have a place that when you sit down, you actually discipline yourself enough to work. And if you ever get an email, if you're ever lucky enough to get an email from Nathan Ricks, in the bottom of it in the signature line, it's going to say focus and discipline. And those really are the two skills that get this done. The focus is on your goals, and the discipline is having the discipline to not let yourself be distracted. You know, we are all going to fight that. So, is there a great answer to this question? There really isn't. You just need to, you know, if you're focused on your why and you're thinking about the time you're investing in your business, then you're gonna experience a little more discipline going toward where you want to go. It's a lot, very much like, you know, jumping behind the wheel of a car without your GPS on and not knowing where you're going, right? You're gonna spin around if you don't have that strong why.
Right. Yeah, and I think that's really the key is that you have to look at your social media through different eyes. You have to decide that you're going to spend time on things that are going to help you to grow your business. So rather than just sit and add friends or look for the next motivational post that you're going to do, message a customer, message someone that's maybe interested in doing a referral post. Make sure that you're speaking to people that ultimately, I mean, this isn't what it's all about, but ultimately, if the actions that you're doing are going to produce volume, then there's something that's going to build your business. So ask yourself that question: what am I doing right now? Is that going to build volume for me and for my business? And that, I think, is a good kind of point of reference.
Like that question a lot, and a lot
Yeah,
of
and it's helped me a lot because I really don't have time. Nick jokingly asked in the chat. He said, "How do I manage my team?" And Sarah Potter answered it for him by saying, "Just never manage."
it is
And
the answer, by the way.
yeah, and Nick knows that too. He asked it flippantly.
No management. There is no management function in this business is the answer
Yep.
there.
Yeah, it's literally, it's not your business. Ultimately, what you're trying to do is you manage you, and that's all you can control. So Nick asked it jokingly, of course, he knows that, but that's really true. You know, what we see is a lot of people will get in the business, and ultimately, if you're just here to sell product and things like that, that's great. You know, you can do that. But if you're going to build a little team, you need to understand that if you get this little team around you and you become a gold or become a lapis, and you guys just get together and talk about how great Nu Skin is, it comes down back to that question about distractions. You know, really, you might not think it because you're seeing a little success, but ultimately, you sitting there talking about how great Nu Skin is and managing that small team, it's not ultimately going to help you build. And so, really, what you need to be doing is making sure that you understand that this is your business. You focus on you and your goals, and let people that you bring into the business focus on them and their goals. And that actually, so go
Understand
ahead.
you understand a little bit about this question because there is a market perception that people that are successful in network marketing sponsored somebody who took them, you know, who they made a lot of money off of, or they were lucky, they were well timed, and what you learn really fast in Nu Skin is that Nu Skin's compensation plan. If you've navigated it, two things are going to happen. One is you worked, you know, you build a real business and it's going to throw off real cash. The second thing that you're going to know is that nobody gets lucky here. You know, this compensation plan doesn't allow it. It's a real economy. And so some of that perception, some of it's already just existing. It lingers in the back of people's minds. And so they go sponsor a few people and they think, okay, I'm there. You know, I've made it. I've got these people under me and they're just going to make all this money for me. And, you know, here's the reverse psychology of that thinking that's going to really help you. And sorry, I'm over talking this, but
No, it's good.
I think a lot about this. You know, did I make money or did I make, how am I going to phrase this exact? Um, I made way more money in Nu Skin because I was associated with Jeff Mack than Jeff Mack ever made off of me. Yeah, I'm first level to him, but I would have quit this business 1,000 times if it wouldn't have been for him. I wouldn't have known what to do 1,000 times if it wouldn't have been for him. So I made the money I made because I was associated with my upline, not the reverse, not the reverse. And the market perception is opposite.
Right. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, a lot of people think differently, and there's lots of, negative kind of views on things because of things that other people have heard or they've heard from a friend. Or the way that's always been phrased to me is that people say, my friend's brother's cousin's aunt's uncle didn't succeed with network marketing, so it must not work, right? And that's really how people think is they've heard it from bad sources. People are ignorant not because they want to hurt you or your business, but because they've heard from somebody from a bad source a negative thing or a fake thing. And all this really does kind of translate over to a couple of questions that we've gotten that I kind of filtered out. They were kind of questions that weren't really super appropriate to this call that I'm going to answer off the call. But ultimately, what we're doing is unique. You need to understand that I've talked with people every single day. I talk with people from other network marketing companies that have experienced things from other MLMs or other companies like that. And when I tell them about what we're doing and how it's different, they don't believe me because of what other people are doing in the industry. When I tell people that it's free to start and that people can make money as a social seller and then never have to buy product, there's no penalization if they don't sell a certain amount or something like that, they're blown away. And that's really, it answers a lot of the questions that I got. A lot of them were how or what we're doing differs from what other companies are doing and why is it being successful? And that's really it. First, we're partnered with an awesome company that cares about us and thinks of distributors first. Second, we found a way that has a zero barrier of entry that doesn't exist out in the rest of the network marketing world or any other company, quite frankly. And third, we've got a product and a team of scientists that are creating products and releasing products specifically geared towards feeding that opportunity. That doesn't exist anywhere. It's crazy. And then one last question that came up that, maybe we should go over and give a couple of minutes to was our personal goals for selling. So someone asked if I still focus on selling product because right now we've got a decent sized team built and I can focus a lot on just recruiting. And the answer is I do focus on selling product. I focus on selling product two ways. And I think that Dad's going to do exactly what I thought he would do. And he's going to, yep. So yeah, I mean,
things that I do every single day. And
yeah,
I don't even know whether you've seen this, Blake.
I don't know that I have seen this. I thought you were going to turn around and grab some of your toothpaste off of your desk.
I do have a case of toothpaste that's about half gone now. I traveled, so the logistics of the travel that I did last week were just crazy. I mean, I flew Delta to Dallas, picked up the guys there in a Citation Encore, a $10 million jet, not my jet, their jet. Flew another 2.5 hours, so you got to think about how much crap you're going to take. You're going golfing for a week. You don't want to, first of all, those smaller jets, business jets, they don't haul a lot of stuff. So you got to really think. I took 10 tubes of toothpaste with me and checked them in, and I came back with 5. And I feel embarrassed that I came back with 5. The guy that roomed with me, that's crazy in and of itself. These cabins were for 2 guys. I mean, here you are at this like super exclusive place. There's only 25 cabins on the property. There's no day play. Like you have to be staying there. You can't even get on the property. And these cabins were actually shared. Well, the guy I shared, he texted me this morning and said, "Hey, my wife loves this toothpaste. Where can I get another tube?"
Right.
Guys, we're not making this up. We're selling product. I'm trying to sell product every day. I think it's the neat thing that ever happened is that we have products that we can sell, and everybody that's listening to this should be focused on that. You should be focused on it online and offline. The uniqueness of having a product that has 100% markup that you can literally make $10 selling is shocking. It just doesn't exist. And to not edify that, to not do it, is wasting one of the most entrepreneurial opportunities you'll ever see. I didn't make $10 selling, Subway sandwiches. I made like 70 cents selling a meal. Every time somebody walked in one of my Subway restaurants and bought a drink, a bag of chips, and a foot-long sandwich, I made 70 cents. And that was after the first, I don't remember the numbers, but it was after like 30 sandwiches an hour, we finally broke even, I mean, to make that kind of profit is shocking. It's startling, right?
Yeah, it doesn't exist. I mean,
if you don't understand that, then you don't get this at all.
Yeah, that's really what fuels it all. I mean, you heard it here. I mean, Brent's a $20 million earner. If you were with us at TEU, one of the very first questions that Jeff Mack asked Liz, Dad, was about how she had sold product that day. She sold 4 tubes of toothpaste and had just gotten back from delivering them. I mean, we're talking about guys that $10 doesn't change a lot. but placing the product does. I mean, you can count the amount of retail volume in one tube, but you can't count the number of distributors that might come from that one tube that you placed. So,
Right, you don't know where it's going to lead. So those guys that I stayed with, they were Florida people. They were from Jacksonville, Florida. Well, he was from Jacksonville, and now his wife is curious about this and curious about social media. And who knows, that could lead to, a great big team in Florida for me. And I am constantly wired for that. Like I am dialed in for the next opportunity to place a product, talk about what we're doing. I'm not shy about it. I mean, I'll tell anybody what we're doing because it's the best business going.
yeah, I agree. And and really the other thing that's a big part of that we had talked about with Jeff at TEU and with you, throughout the day here today and with other leaders in the group is a great way for you to sell additional products and to expose yourself to additional products is to replace products in your home with Nu Skin products. So to shop out of your own cart. And the way it was phrased at TEU by Rick Jiha is if you drive a BMW, you won't go out if you work at a BMW dealership, you won't be driving a Mercedes. And that's really the way to think of this is that if you have a Nu Skin business, if you have a wholesale ID and you're buying products from other people, you're literally feeding competition and you're wasting your money and you're wasting your opportunity for a few reasons. First and foremost, we make the best products out there. So if you're going to spend money on products in your shower, if you're going to spend money on supplements, if you're going to spend money on anything that we sell, then you're buying an inferior product. And I believe that wholeheartedly. I've probably used 150 of the 200 Nu Skin products as a guy, so they're out there and they're great products. So what I would do is I'd go in your bathroom and I'd look at what kind of soap you're using, what kind of hair. I don't use any of the shampoo and conditioner, neither does Dad, so we can't speak too much to that. But yeah, right. I just kind of keep washing with the body wash and I keep going until I'm all the way back. But but replace the products in your home. The way that Jeff Mack phrased it is that if you're not using $100 of Nu Skin product in your home, you're not even really a Nu Skin distributor. He said that like 3 times. So my 2 goals as far as product goes are first and foremost, every product that I can use that's a Nu Skin product is a Nu Skin product. Second goal is that I try to sell about $500 of retail profit a month, and that's personally. I try to do that every month. I'm not going to say that I do that every single month, but I certainly try. And I do it for a couple of reasons. 1, the extra income. 2, it allows me to expose the product and business to other people. And 3, it allows me to kind of share a great product and talk to additional people and make new connections. So that's what you should do yourself. I mean, I would set some goals. I think that every single distributor that wants to do this long term should replace products in their home and try to replace a product, at least a month maybe, with a new Nu Skin product. And that's going to benefit you more than it's going to benefit anybody else.
Yeah, and then the next thing, and it goes to the same thing I was talking about is, I traveled with it. I promise you right now, if you drive to my house and you open the back of my car, I've got loose tubes of toothpaste in both of my cars. Always. I don't go anywhere without it because it's a natural subject. I call it the melt up. Like the guys I were with, some of them know me pretty well, and they were saying, "Well, you haven't hardly played this year. Your game's horrible," and I'm like, "Yeah, it is because I'm in the middle of a business melt up." What do you mean? Well, my business is melting up, like so fast that, well, why? Well, we have this crazy whitening toothpaste, and it leads to this conversation. And before I know it, some guy's sneaking over going, they won't say it in front of the other guys, but they'll walk over and they'll go, "Hey, I want a couple tubes of that toothpaste." You know what? I'm going to sell it to them, and the other thing that I do, and this is why I got in my drawers, I had these cards made, and these are unbelievably. I sponsored a girl. You'll see her in the group. She's got a crazy name. Her last name is Lick. Now I don't know how that's going to go in social media. Her name is Sue Lick. But she's got like 1,000 friends, and she's a substitute teacher. And I literally kind of recruited her again. It was on this trip, and we got talking, and I was like, I was really curious about this place because they close it in October. And I'm like, well, what do you do during the winter? I'm a substitute teacher. Well, how does that go? Do you make enough money doing that? Well, not really. Well, how active in social media are you? Well, I'm pretty active. I just started asking questions, and then I just gave her this card. And I had these printed, and they just say, my name, and they say, find me on Facebook. And on the other side, they say, make money. And that's my business card. And I will put that in, if a waitress or whatever, or whoever, or wherever, if I'm out in my life, I am going to try to recruit people, and I'm going to recruit as many people as I can recruit. That's what we do.
Yeah, and I'm going to leave on this note. We went a little long, and that's my fault because I answered too many questions here. But Harry Umflett, who's in the group, he says he actually has a neighbor that's a double diamond in Amway, and if you know what that is, they make a lot of money. So he's not going to come over and join us, okay? Because he's been doing that for years. But Harry showed him the new skin compensation plan, and he looked at that, and he looked at a couple aspects of it that you may not understand if you're newer on the call. And he said, Harry, this is a license to print money, and you need to recruit until Blake and Brent and other leadership tell you not to anymore. And that's really ultimately what your goal should be. I mean, if you know a little bit about our plan versus their plan or whatever, you're going to know that you're in the right spot. And Brent, that's why he's still recruiting. He doesn't need to be. Okay. He should be golfing. He can golf if he wants, but he knows the opportunity. He knows the value of being here. So, Brent, thanks for taking your time on the call tonight. We appreciate it. We're glad that we caught you while you're here, and I know you're taking up again Saturday, so I'm glad that we got you on a call. Thanks to everybody that hung out with us and watched and asked questions. I didn't get to all of the questions. If you have additional questions, please feel free to message me, or we can talk about it in the group, whatever you'd like to do. But yeah, let's go out and get to work. There's a lot of night left.
Yeah, this next trip is 10 times stupider than the last one. We're actually taking a helicopter every morning to go to the golf course that we're playing. To be social media and that thing. I'm actually a little nervous about getting in that helicopter.
I expect some lives, so I expect some news, some live videos, and I expect a lot of social media that we can milk as a team. So once again, thank you, Dad, for being the one to take the hit and being the example of the lifestyle that we can all live. So we appreciate you doing that for us.
Okay, thanks.